Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. Welcome to episode 20, 20,
Wait a second.
20. Two
Episode
decades.
20? Oh,
20 of the
wow.
Dunya'S Gone Crazy podcast. Yes, people, we've reached it. We've reached the milestone. I mean, we reached it a week late, but we're here. We've done it. That's the important thing, I suppose. But man, in the 2 weeks that we've missed, so many things have happened. So
Mm.
many things have happened. But before I even get to all those things, people, thank you for tuning in. If you have, my name is Eunice. I am your host with the most. We're bringing it back. Um, I'm joined by my very, very good friend, my brother Musin, with me. How you doing, Musin? How's your 2 weeks been?
Yeah, it's been okay, man. I've missed yeah, I feel like really there's been a shift in my routine, you know.
Right.
Every single week has been the same for the last 19 weeks, and then suddenly, I don't know what
Man,
happened. So,
bro,
just
when
yeah.
when routine just gets like it's so like weird. It's so weird. Like, like when you're normally getting a bus 18 and then all of a sudden no, it's closed.
Yeah,
And now you're on
I don't know
Google
what to
Maps
do.
like, oh, bus 28. But even before we had the Google Maps, we was like, so what do I do now? Like when you're
Yeah.
like in school, like, okay, so what now?
I think that
But
happened to me. I just went home. I just I just
I
was like, no, I don't know what
don't
to
know
do.
what to do. I don't know what to do. I wish I had that. I wish I had that. What's the word?
Privilege.
Like awareness. I didn't even
Yeah.
have that awareness. I was like, I'm gonna try and figure this out. And I just took
Yeah.
a bus that just took me somewhere else in London. And then this is how I was super young when I realized that I was lost. I didn't just track back. I didn't just cross the road and grab the bus and go back to where I was. Nah. Let me get a different bus. Oh man, good old days, good old days, good old days. But people, thank you for joining us. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here, right in this moment to be with us. Um, and we appreciate you for that. Subscribe to the channel if you like the vibe, if you enjoy the content and all that things. It really does help us. Like the video if you like the video, and comment down below any thoughts, any opinions you may have that differ from us, or if you agree with us with anything, please let us know down below. And with that, we can get started with what I feel like is for the last 2 weeks anyway, has been the most. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, just before we get started, I think really I'm a little bit offended for the podcast because we kind of just slipped over the fact that this was episode 20. I feel like we should have given it more time. You
Nah.
know, episode 20.
Yeah,
I've actually asked my friend ChatGPT
of course.
to let me know the significance of the number
Right.
20. And this is a key
Right.
thing that it said. In numerology, the number
Right.
20 is associated with harmony,
Right.
cooperation, and partnerships.
Come on.
It is considered a number of balance and represents the integration of opposites.
Come on.
Okay, what else does it say? It says the number 20 is often seen as a milestone age.
Come
Wow.
on.
It is it is a significant time when individuals may gain more independence and take greater responsibility. And it also says it marks the transition. So
Mm.
this is the podcast right now.
Transition.
Transition from adolescence to adulthood.
Come on. Come on. And you know what? Um, there's like stuff that is being thought about that is, I think, will certainly allow us to be able to go into adulthood from kidulthood. If you know, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. But anyway, yeah. So I think one of the first things we have to talk about in terms of the Dunya'S going crazy is actually the world is just setting records after records after records for like for the hottest times that we've been here in this dunya since we've started keeping records. Last week, it was like for like 3 days in a row, each day was breaking the record of the day before of how hot it could have gotten. Like on Monday, it was like, I don't know, 43 degrees. And then the next day it's 45. And then the next day it's 46. It just keeps getting hotter.
Wait,
It
is this
just
globally or what? Was it the
no no
global
no.
heat or is it in a country?
In like just different countries just becoming like hot and hot and hot.
Oh, so the
Um
record globally is now 47 degrees.
no. So what the world heat is different. So the
Oh,
way they do world heat is they just average out the entire world. Although the world actually has gone up in temperature. So I have it over here that previously the temperature of the world was like the average temperature of the world was like 16 something degrees Celsius,
mm,
right? And recently it came to 17.18 degrees Celsius, which some people, if you live in like certain countries, that 1 degree might not mean anything to you, but it's significant to the world. Like
yeah.
1 degree is like basically the difference between the the ice caps being ice caps or the
Mm,
Arctic being just water.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
video of there's a good video of Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining like the negative effects of the ice caps melting and how it will impact the ecosystem of the world because it's fresh water versus brackish water, and then just it will just throw off the balance of everything. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
So,
oh,
boy,
okay. Man, it's getting hot
and
in here.
hold on 1 second. Right now, right, in California, in the city that I live in, right, it's 10:41 a.m. and it's 34 degrees Celsius. Now hold on. At noon, it's 37 degrees. At 1 p.m. is 39. At 2 p.m. is 41. At 3 p.m. is 42. And at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock is 43 degrees Celsius.
Mm. Yeah, you have fun, man.
And
You
it's
have fun.
dry heat too. And I know certain countries are looking at us like 43 degrees Celsius, brother. Have you ever been to Jeddah? Have you ever been to Doha? What are you talking about? 43 degrees Celsius. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's summer here in London. 19 degrees Celsius, bro.
It's hoodie season. Oh man, but I know that like recently though in London last year, like it reached 40 degrees and one of
Did,
the
yeah.
days in the summer, and people were just like, "Oh my god, it's the end of the world." I saw this movie before. This was like part of it.
Uh, it was funny. There was like when I was working, so I had a point where I was one guy, so I was doing training and one other guy, he was another trainer. He came from Scotland to help me with training. And then I
Right,
was gonna go to Scotland. So we were kind of like helping each other and we were going around to other places as well. And
right.
he came to Scotland. I remember I picked him up he came to London. I picked him up from the hotel
Mm,
and he walked from the hotel to like where like the station because I told him meet me at the station. It
right.
was maybe a 5-6 minute walk.
Yeah.
And when he got there, he was drenched in sweat. And
Mm.
this was the hottest day that we had. Like he'd never experienced heat like this ever in his life. And the one time he comes to London,
It was
there
40
was
degrees.
extremely hot, 40, yeah. And he was actually drenched, like his clothes. He like yeah,
Yeah,
he's
man.
man,
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
There's
And
a
he was
guy
standing there trying to do training.
who lives in Saudi who like he does these like videos like what it's really like living in Saudi, stuff like that.
Mm,
And he was filming a video from inside the house, and then he was like, "Let me show you around the complex." He stepped outside, he walked for 5 minutes, and his clothes was like just sweaty already, like looking like me after I've been skipping for 30 seconds. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, the reason I bring it up, right, is because it's not over, Mussin.
It's not
This
over.
is not over. It's not over. So, the headline reads, Death Valley could set a world record hot temperature. So this is the world record for, like, you know, like countries and stuff like that, and like one certain location. Now, Death Valley is a valley here in California.
Of course.
So it's a desert valley in Eastern California, in the northern, I think it's either Mojave or Mojave Desert, but I think it's Mojave Desert. But so they're expecting it to reach 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which, if I just Google real quick, is 54.4 degrees Celsius. 4.4 degrees Celsius. People, if you live in a nice little, if you live in like Seattle or something like this, or like New York, or maybe even London or Birmingham, God bless you, I don't think you quite realize just how like hot 54.4 is. And it's in the desert. Like, it's blistering heat, like it's dry and blistering heat. It's about to go crazy. But Mussin, it does not stop there. The dunya has truly gone crazy, not just because of the heat. Not just because of the heat. Because of the fact that the scientists are predicting that it's going to be 130 degrees Fahrenheit in the Death Valley, people are looking to go over there to experience it. People, please. What are we doing? What are we doing with ourselves? Like, why? For what?
To have a story.
I think,
Survive.
for TikTok, innit? How I survived, and how I survived the whole day in the Death Valley on the hottest day of the world. Oh my God, I can't wait for that YouTube video. And of course, it's gonna be some white guy or girl. Do you know what I mean? None of us is gonna be there. None of us is gonna be there.
The video is gonna start. It's just gonna be like, dun, dun. They're gonna have like little scenes. Where it's like, oh, I'm about to die. I can't do this anymore.
And then it cuts to black. Zoom.
Yeah.
and then it fades from black. 7 a.m. or 5 a.m. Oh man, these people are crazy, man. I don't know what they're thinking.
Oh, yeah. Best of luck. Best of luck. It's a cool experience that if you catch yourself accidentally in that experience and you have that story to tell, like, oh, you know, I was there and this happened, then cool.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If it just happens, like we can tell our kids, you know, like if we have kids, if we're still like alive at that time. I don't know why that got so dark, but
out of nowhere.
If we have kids, we could be like, yeah, we went through like a global pandemic. This, like, multiple lockdowns.
Yeah.
This happened, that happened. That wasn't our choice.
It was not by choice. It happened. Exactly.
That's a story. But man, to go 50 people die from heat stroke at what, like,
whoa. And you know there's gonna be oh man, let me not even say this, but there's gonna be those special people, quote unquote, that's gonna go there and, like, with just 1 liter of water. Like, no reserves, nothing, just him and his backpack.
I don't know.
And I'm gonna predict him to have blue eyes and blonde curly hair. I don't know why that's come out of my head, but that's what I'm gonna predict this person is gonna look like with the 1 liter of bottle of water, and that's it, nothing else. So wait, let me just correct myself real quick. So it's normally 130 degrees in Death Valley, but they're actually predicting it to go above 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And in fact, they're thinking it's gonna be where is it over 136 degrees is what they're predicting it to be, which is, if I just quickly Google, 58 degrees Celsius. 58 degrees Celsius. And people just want to go there for the lols. The lols and the TikTok and the content. Good luck. I hope none of you
something out to you.
pass away. Go ahead.
Heat stroke is a condition caused by your body overheating, usually as a result of prolonged exposure to or physical exertion in high temperatures. This most serious form of heat injury, heat stroke, can occur if your body temperature rises to 40 degrees or higher. 40 degrees.
And you're trying to go 54 or 58 even.
58. That's significant as well. Like, you know, within your body temperature is what's supposed to be like 37 degrees Celsius-ish?
Yeah.
If it's 36 or 38.
No, it doesn't even have to be that. If it's like a 0.2 difference, it's over. Like, you're sick. You're sick if you're 0.2 over.
And that's so slight. And you want to go to 18 more degrees than when heat stroke can start from.
Although, to be fair, the human body is super amazing in that it's super, super good at keeping that temperature the way it is. This is why, man, people believe in God, man. What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you, man, talking about, bro? Look at the way the body works. It's like people are living in what's the Alaska and stuff like this, where, you know, it was it was a worry for Alaska when in their summer it reached 18 degrees. And the whole scientific world was worried. Do you know what I mean? That it reached 18
1 degree
degrees
below what it is now.
Exactly. And people
London,
just live there normally. And then, but the human body is just able to keep, like, maintain that temperature. Obviously, you have to, like, clothe yourself and whatnot. And you meant what? Just think that just happened randomly. Like, luckily, that just happened. Rocks hit each other and that was it. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Anyway, let me not veer too much off topic. But yeah, people, man.
Can I say one more thing?
Go on.
There's just a story I remembered. It was a documentary I think I watched, and there was a kid. It might have been. I don't think it was Nepal. There was a country around there, like an Oriental country, and this kid got up, getting ready for school, wore like 7 layers, had to wear like a whole like suit that mum had to put them in because it was so thick. Like you like you're walking like this because of how thick it is. And then on the way to school, I think it was like a 10-minute walk to school.
Right.
There was a fear that the child may die because of how cold it is. And by the time they get to school, in those 10 minutes, eyelashes have frost on them, eyebrows have frost. Like there's frost on the face because of those 10 minutes to walk into school. Yeah, extreme, man, extreme.
And boy, speaking of extreme as well, in Europe, Italy is bracing for potential record high temperature of 49 degrees as well. Like everywhere is getting hot, bro. I'm telling you, people, man. Look, listen. You might have your little conspiracy things with the plastic straws and the paper straws, or what's a turtle gonna do. You might have your certain little things, but people, and you might even believe in the fact that this is just part of the natural cycle of the earth. That's a real thing. Like, you know how we had the snow age, there were no humans back then. Like we just had the ice age thing, and it just happened. So this is just like when they say the opposite and equal reaction, this is probably just it. Some people would make that argument. But we cannot deny the fact that we definitely contribute to this. Greenhouse gases, airplanes everywhere, private jets everywhere, more cars. Like, do you remember when it was when COVID first hit and everyone had to stay indoors? China came out with a stat, like someone took a picture of like the skyline of China before COVID and like a week after COVID. and it was like super super good, like good air, no pollution, and like it just did so much like for the world. Like those weeks in COVID when people was mass, what's the word? Um, when everyone's indoors, what was that thing?
Lockdown.
Was mass lockdown. Like it was so good for the earth. um, we just but obviously we that's not, that's not a realistic thing. We can't always ask for that, but man, we have to
Mm.
we have to be better people, man. We have to be better.
I'll turn my camera on in a sec. Yeah, did
um
you watch the documentary? It was uh, a documentary where it was during COVID. It was like in the UK, and you had like where everyone was inside and locked down. You had like animals that were coming out and like walking the streets, and they were just like it was just natural. Like they were finally like out, just like walking the streets. It was a really cool documentary. I don't know if you saw it. It was
I've never seen it. I don't think I remember it.
oh, it's really cool. Yeah, my guy David Attenborough.
Attenborough, always good.
Mm,
It's gonna be a tragedy when he goes.
yeah,
Like people are actually gonna like cry and stuff like that. Probably like
yeah.
almost like 50% to the. I have a feeling it might be worse than when the Queen passed away.
That's what I saw everywhere. Like when the Queen passed away, or when they announced it, people were like, "Man, think people would be more upset if like when the because the Queen is dying, or more upset like if David Attenborough died." And I saw
Yeah,
everyone just saying, "Yeah, David Attenborough, man, David's
because
David Attenborough."
the other part of it too was, are they upset that the Queen's passed away or that Charles is now the king? People are so dumb. In Canada, wildfires burn a record-breaking 10 million hectares of land. But this was like from the top of the year, so it wasn't just because of like, but it's because of heat wave too, obviously. Um, the prior all-time high record in Canada was in 1989 when it was 7.3 million hectares over the course of the entire year. In total now, 4,088 fires have occurred since January, including many blazes that have scorched hundreds of thousands of acres along the way. More than 150,000 people have been displaced from their homes because of the
50,000,
150,000 people.
150,000. Oh wow,
Yeah, 150,000 people.
yeah, that's sad to think about. Like these, what a test for those people, man.
Yeah.
What a test for those
And
people.
with these type of fires, right? Like depending on the size and magnitude of them, there's nothing firefighters can do. You kind of just
Mm,
have to let it happen. You have to
yeah, yeah.
let the thing happen and just leave it to burn until it becomes manageable enough for you to deal with it.
Mm,
And so a lot of those like hectares being burnt and stuff like that, it's just them like watching it like, damn, like I can't. There's nothing for me to do. I'd kill myself if I, or I'd just waste water.
yeah,
Like when they
basically, yeah.
bring out the helicopters with the water and try pour it down.
Mm,
And it's not just the homes too, right? You got to think about the animals that are gonna get displaced because their homes is basically getting burnt down. It's crazy, man.
yeah. Did you see the video with uh put it on the screen if you find it? But there was like a helicopter. There was like a fire. Helicopter came and just went to someone's pool and
Oh
just
yeah, I've seen
lifted
it.
up.
I'll put the video when I find it, definitely. And no, do you know what it was? It was that lawyer. It was like a question to him. Can people just do this to me? Can I get compensated for this?
Yeah.
Like it's my water. It's like, no, they have the ability to do that because it's an
Yeah.
emergency. It's
Some
like when
people,
they
man.
when people park in front of the hydrant and they just
Mm,
break your window to get, like, I'm not going over or under your car, brother. Like, what are you doing?
mm,
Get out. This is the most efficient way. Forget your window. You're an
mm.
idiot for parking here anyway. But yeah.
I
So
didn't even know
man,
you could do that. I didn't know that happened with the hydrant. That's interesting.
yeah. So people like park in front of the fire hydrants and stuff, And so the faucet, obviously, like it has to be a straight line. Otherwise, you're gonna
Mm.
impact the way the water flows
Right. Yeah.
in the hose. So they'll just break through. They'll break down your window so that the hose can go through.
Mm.
And
Makes
that's
sense.
just, and you're probably also gonna get fined for that as well. Now you're gonna pay for the window and you're gonna get fined by the city, if not jailed for parking, for illegally parking.
Mate.
Yeah. So I mean, people, the dunya is getting hotter, man. The global warming thing is definitely real. Like just forget like the conspiracy theories and stuff are cool, but drink water, stay in the shade. Oh my god, wear sun lotion. Like please, for the love of God, like protect yourselves. And yeah, stay safe, man. But the best thing definitely is just stay in the shade, man. Stay in the shade. Our AC is just 100% always running in the house too. Like you can't let it go. You can't let it go. You cannot let it go. Otherwise, it's just
Do what you
it's
can
just
for the
over.
environment. Like
And do
everything
what
that
you can.
you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
I'll see if
man.
I can find. There was a website. It was really good. That like had lots of tips and stuff.
Plan your
probably
trips
will
and
find some.
stuff like that, man. Don't
yeah.
just go on like random trips everywhere. Like plan it,
Mm.
man. Like don't take like you have to take like you know what I'm saying. It's nice to travel and stuff, but you're taking 10 airplanes and stuff. And the people's argument is always just like, well, they were gonna fly regardless anyway. But it's like that's because there's a demand for it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But
Mm.
yeah, good luck, people. Stay safe out there and stay hydrated, and not just for the water. Like just stay hydrated in general. It's good for the skin, all these type of things. Anyway, I mean, we did touch a little bit on it a little bit when we spoke about Italy. Speaking about something a slightly more serious, Italian uproar over judge's 10-second groping rule. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
You know what groping is though, right?
Yes.
So in Italy, in Rome, there was a high school in Rome, and there was this 17-year-old girl who the case is that there was a 17-year-old girl who I guess was walking up a stairs or down the stairs, and there was a 66-year-old caretaker behind her, who I'm not quite sure because the article says one thing and she kind of says another thing, but in both instances, the article says he pulls her pants down, but she kind of says that he kind of just goes inside the pants, and touches her bum, and grabs her underwear. And then she turns around, I suppose, like what are you doing? Like, don't be crazy. And he says to her, they've obviously translated this to English, "Love, I was just joking." And then the man told, which is what when she turned around, she was like, "I'm just joking." So this happened last year in April, and she obviously reported it to the police, blah 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 blah. And then he admitted to having committed the groping, but he said that it was just in jest, like it was just a joke. Like it wasn't nothing malicious.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing malicious.
Okay. You know what? I was very concerned until he said he was joking. Now I get it. Like I'm not concerned anymore. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
The judges agreed with him. So a Rome public prosecutor asked for a 3.5-year prison sentence, but this week the caretaker was acquitted of sexual assault charges. According to the judges, what happened does not constitute a crime because it lasted less than 10 seconds. These men were like, do you know what they did? They were like, when you drop your food on the floor, it's like, it hasn't even been 5 seconds, yo. So how can it be dirty? They were like, it hasn't even been 10 seconds. How can it be sexual assault? These people, what are they doing right now? What are they talking about? It does not constitute a crime because it lasted less than seconds. And now, since this ruling, On TikTok and Instagram, there's been a sort of a popular hashtag 10 seconds or 10 secondi, which is the French thing. It's called palpata breve, I guess, which translates to a brief groping. And it's these like I suppose teenagers, or not just teenagers, but women and stuff like that, like filming themselves, right? Like touching themselves, their private parts or whatever, like clothed obviously, for 10 seconds and just staring in the camera doing it. The point being, like, when someone's doing that to you, 10 seconds is not 10 seconds. It's like a lifetime of someone just holding on to you. And so it's been a popular hashtag and trend recently on social media of people just doing that. And it says here that the videos are often uncomfortable to watch, but the aim of showing just how long, but the aim was to show just how long 10 seconds can really feel.
Yeah.
When you're under that situation.
I wonder how that rule came about. 10 seconds is a long time.
Boy,
Like 10 seconds is so long. 10
boy.
that's
I can't skip for 10 seconds. I mean I can, but I'm sweating after skipping for 10 seconds.
Yeah, imagine it was like strangling. Like if they strangle you for more than 10 seconds, then that's like they're trying to kill you. But if it's less, that's all right.
It's not attempted murder. It's playful. It's wrestling. It's WWE. Like, what is that? What are they talking about, man?
WWE. Okay. Wait, so this is you said it's been he's free completely. Nothing happened. No punishment.
They didn't really go. They didn't say anything else. But well, he's been acquitted of the sexual charges. So yeah, he's free. He's free from them. He's not guilty, basically. So an influencer by the name Francesco Sicconetti wrote on TikTok, "Who decides that 10 seconds is not a long time? Who times the seconds while you're being harassed? You're just being harassed. Harassment is harassment, regardless whether it's 5 seconds or it's 5 years. Like, harassment is harassment. Men don't have the right to touch women's bodies, not even for a second, let alone 5 or 10. Is what he goes on to say. The judge's decision to acquit the caretaker shows just how normalized sexual harassment is in Italian society. Now that part I'm not too sure about. I don't live in Italy, of course, and you know it might be like people just being angry and stuff. But I'll take his word for it in this instance. In which case, like, it's crazy a little bit, man. How like certain like sexual harassment and stuff like that is just normal in certain places. And it's not checked, you know, because if you then complain, it's like, oh, why are you being this? Why are you being so sensitive? You know?
It's crazy to think about it, because like if you look at it from an Islamic perspective, like I don't shake any woman's hand. I don't hug any woman that's not like my wife or like my family member. Like I'm not allowed to like have that. Like even 1 second, like I can't do that. I'm not allowed to. I have no rights as a man to touch a woman. Like women are held in such like high esteem, in the same way you can't just go and touch like something that's super valuable. You have something that's valuable, you lock it away, you keep it away. I can't just go to any woman and just touch them. I have no right to do so.
Forget touching, brother. I can't even just look at them.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta lower your gaze,
bro.
yeah.
Like I can like if I catch them accidentally, it's like, oh, okay, and then you just move on. You forget the touch even before we even get there. But we're the sexist though, because we make them wear hijab. Cool, no khalas, brother. It's okay, no problem. I saw, you know what? I love like just throwing certain little things at, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're the bad people. Come on, khalas, man.
But you know what? No one can say anything because you didn't go on for more than 10 seconds.
Ah, there you go.
Just little. You said it, and then we move on.
There you go. According to the judges, the caretaker did not linger. He groped the teenager. Look at the words they're using. Like they're like admitting that he groped her, right? He
Mm.
groped the teenager, the teenager, only briefly,
Mm.
performing, quote, an awkward maneuver without lust.
Mm.
So now they believe the man in in what he says is his intentions.
You know what? Maybe this has been what's the word? Like wokenized or something. I know that's not an actual word, but
Yeah.
maybe it was actually just in just we were very quick to judge. Now, maybe it was just like not that bad. Maybe within that culture, that's not seen as strange. Maybe they've done it before and people have been like, ha ha ha. I don't know.
It's yeah. And
I
that's
mean,
what
it's
it
wrong
and that's what
either
and
way.
that's what that guy meant when he said like it's just normalized. Where
Yeah.
other people have experienced it, but they just didn't say anything because they then would be outcast in their societies and communities, for
I
being
wonder if it
so
is
sensitive.
like traumatic in that experience. Like I would assume,
Oh,
yes, it is traumatic.
well, here
But
she goes. Look, here she says
I'll go on.
the judges ruled that he was joking. Well, it was no joke to me. The caretaker came up from behind without saying anything. He put his hands down my trousers and inside my underwear. He groped my bottom, then he pulled me up, hurting my private parts. For me, this is not a joke. This is not on how an old man should joke with a teenager. That
Mm.
handful of seconds was more than enough for the caretaker to make me feel his hands on me. She says she feels doubly betrayed by her school and by the justice system. I'm starting to think I was wrong to trust the institutions. This is not justice. The student fears that the judge's ruling will deter girls and women from coming forward if they're subjected to such attacks. And
Yeah.
rightly so, I think. Like next time, like if I have that type of family, like I'll just tell my brother and my brother will just do the justice for me. Like
Mm, mm, mm.
that is,
Yeah.
and but then my brother would then get in trouble for doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like so it's like
And then the other way as well. Like it will probably deter people from talking, but
mm,
encourage more people to do it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's
Because
not
nothing will
against the
happen
law.
to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recent figures from the EU's Fundamental Rights Agency suggested that 70% of Italian women who had suffered harassment between 2016 and 2021 did not report the incident. So in terms of normalized, maybe that's your answer over there. And they will feel that reporting abuse is just not worth it, but it's important because silence protects the aggressors. So, but yeah, I mean, like you were about to say in terms of like trauma, and maybe even like if it's the type of thing to create like PTSD, for example, for a person,
Mm.
you know, you never know with
Well, I
this
was
type
gonna
of thing.
say, is it uh like I would assume the answer is yes, but is it something that would cause is it something that is a traumatic experience if it's normalized in the society? You know, like there are certain things that if they're not normalized, it may be traumatic, but if they are normalized, it may not be as traumatic. It's like, oh,
Well,
this is
if
just
they
whatever.
if they're normalized, then well, trauma the effects of trauma is always different in different people, and it manifests
Right.
itself in different shapes and forms. So for example, like if you know if she feels this, for example, she may never be able to like trust a man again, or she may never be able to get into, for example, because in these types of cultures it's different from ours obviously, but like I don't I can't let a man touch me for like the first 10 dates, let's say,
Mm.
right? And so unless you find a man who's willing to do that, which
Mm.
in the society we live in is probably not that very common, then she could then live a life of like looking for that type of partner and all these type of things, right? For a very very long time. and
Right.
and that's just one example. So I think it can still be a trauma, even though it's in a normalized scenario. It might just manifest itself in a different way that is not as visible. Maybe.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. I think either way that there is going to be some sort of trauma. Like people have trauma, like I think everyone has trauma from their parents. Like even just I think it's like if you're crying as a baby and your parent doesn't pick you up, and that happens like often or semi-often, that can be traumatic to a baby or a child, because you feel like you want to be protected and they don't protect you when you feel you want to be protected. And something as small as that, you know, if we're talking about someone groping you for 9 seconds, it's definitely going to cause something, man. Okay,
good luck with her, man. Thoughts and prayers to her. I hope she doesn't suffer any of that stuff. I hope she's able hopefully she's able to move on healthily, and be able to move forward. And maybe her case is the case because of the way it's trended. Maybe her case is the case that allows, you know, that changes that helps to change things, you know, become a fuel in a car to help women in Italy who suffer from the same type of tragedies and things of that nature. So good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Hopefully, yeah.
Speaking of children, I turn to a 30-year-old man.
Spoiled 30-year-old son arguing with his parents because he doesn't like his room.
Michael, what do you mean? You're 30-year-old? Yeah. You're 30-year-old and you still want to live at home? You live where you put.
He's been living at home all his life and doesn't like his new room.
I know, but you know where we've come from. I've got a double room. Why are we even here? Why have we moved to here?
Well, Michael, you weren't even here when we moved in. You didn't even come to.
Yeah, now I'm back. I'm back. So what? Shoebox.
Well, if you don't like it, you know what to do.
Oh, right, that is it. You won't kick her out though, would you?
She's 17.
The parents have had enough of his ungrateful attitude.
Gracie this, Gracie that.
You're 30. You have to stand on your own 2 feet.
Right, so when I bring my friends around, where are we going to go? Sit downstairs watching Emily, will you lot?
Stop it, will you? For God's sake, we haven't been working. We've had to downsize. You know this. We've had this discussion with you. You've not even bloody worked. What are you even going to pay any rent?
I've just finished uni. You know what it's like trying to get a job.
What, 30 years old?
You're going to have to pay some rent here as well.
I've got a job interview on Monday.
Yeah. And you're going to have to pay some rent.
What, for the shoebox?
We can't afford to keep you.
I tell you what, Michael, why don't you go and live out in the shed?
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Out of the way.
Yeah, I would. Because your bloody
Gracie,
attitude.
mum and dad, nice food.
I'm sorry, your bloody
Me outside like a
attitude
dog.
stinks. You've been given everything on a friggin' platter.
So you say that?
I'm not being.
Dad, come on, please.
If you don't like it, do one.
Dad, come on, please.
Joe,
you know I need my space. You know what for? You know what for, Dad.
You know what for?
What about after nights out in town where I'm going to go?
It's the only room, if you want to be here, it's the only place you can be.
Joe, don't entertain.
What if I've got a missus? Where am I supposed to take her? Put her under the bed?
No, go to her house. Go find your own
Lady.
This isn't a treat, is it?
Sure, a good time for a change.
Look, laughing. It's funny, isn't it?
Got any money?
Funny to used to, isn't it?
Yeah,
Leaving me in a shoebox.
Yeah, well, we'll have to pay for that meal out with your girlfriend, won't we? Because you always have to come to us.
I always pay you back. Don't be daft.
Do you want me to get the book out? Do you want me to get the book out?
Oh, there he is now, his black book. It's not Christmas Day, you know. Normally comes out on Christmas Day, that.
Thousands yours.
You're just being facetious. It's a bloody room. It's nice. It's been decorated.
Somewhere to sleep before you go to work when you get a job.
What, in a single bed?
Yeah.
So what am I doing with this missus that I've got top and tailing?
I'm not being funny. I've
Stick
got a
underneath.
girlfriend with that attitude. Who'd go out with you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that hurt.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. Single 31 at home, all my mates moved out and you're slagging me like that.
I'm not being funny, but this is what it is. Michael, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Go
where?
Go and sleep on your mate's couch. It's a perfectly nice bedroom.
From what I've come from, it's absolutely...
It's absolutely
my
disgusting. Oh, bro. What?
I wanna show empathy. I wanna be like, you know what?
Oh
But
man.
the parents are just like sick. That they're not. They're
But
not like, oh,
the parents are so they're so
they're
understanding
being
though.
so patient. Yeah,
They're being
considering.
so patient. They're being so patient. The thing, because let me know, first of all, for the people who know me, like, I don't want to come across as like a hypocrite. I also live with my parents right now, right? I'm 26 years old, but I'm in a privileged position to where I'm being allowed to do so I can do certain things. Do you know what I mean? Like, invest, for example. Like, do you know how privileged you have to be able to invest? Like, as someone who's like not in a full-time career, let's say, right? But never in my life, wallah, never in my life have I said, this room is a bit small, no? What? It's free. What? He was like, but why did we have to move?
And you know what the funniest thing about that was? From what it sounded like, he wasn't even living in the house when they moved there.
He wasn't.
They moved, and then he was like, I'm coming back.
I'm back.
And they let him come back into the room.
Yeah, bro. The mom is just like, it's nice. It's been decorated. If you don't want to live it, go. And he's there like, oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh,
there must be
bro.
something else going on. That's not normal. Like,
Bro,
I hope he's all right.
they call this Peter Pan syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Not maybe he doesn't necessarily doesn't have it, but he's definitely what's the word? Showing behaviors of it. This is crazy. It's just so crazy, man.
Oh man. And then he says talking about his sister. Like, she's 17.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Just you, Dad, and Gracie. She's 17. Oh, bro. 30 years old, bro. That's crazy.
I don't see anything wrong with being 30 and living with your parents.
Nothing.
But to complain.
You
like
can't
you
have
are.
that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it wasn't even the level of entitlement that was just in his voice though, bro. Like, this is why our generation and like the millennials get so much bad rep because of that guy. Like, because those people like really exist where it's just like it's just so much entitlement and just in their voice and in their thing. Like, what in a single bed? Huh? What? He was like, what am I gonna do when I bring my missus around?
Yeah. But
What
first
you
he said, Dad, you know what I need it for.
He was trying to get his dad on his side, like, yo, dad, like, come on, man, don't be silly. Like, Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing? Imagine if you were in my position. Dad was just like, I would never be in your position. Why am I entertaining women if I can't even get on my own? Like, it's so weird, bro. It's so weird. Ay. And the thing is too, like, the housing system in the UK is so good actually. Like, compared to the rest of the world. Like, if you earn a certain amount of money, like, it's a long wait, don't get me wrong. It's a long wait, but eventually depending on your circumstances, you will be able given a house, an apartment by the government for like low money.
Sometimes they'll pay for your rent as well whilst you're trying to like find a job.
A job, and they help you find a job. So it's don't get me wrong, people definitely do struggle in London, in the UK, but compared to the rest of the world though, you have so many more opportunities not to struggle. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh man, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. But listen, it's not just in the UK. I have another video for you.
Wait, another video?
Speaking of entitlement. Speaking of
No way you have
entitlement.
another video that's similar to this. There's absolutely no way. I refuse to believe that.
Here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Come here,
So he's a
Brian.
DoorDash driver.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Bro, he's a delivery driver. This is the United States is so crazy sometimes, bro. And he's been given a $5. I don't think people realize, like, I think some Americans don't understand what a tip actually is. I think that they think a tip is an extension of the bill. Like it's something that you're supposed to get. And you know what's even more hilarious is she posted her order from DoorDash, like her receipt. Her order was $22. If you do the math, he was given 22% tip. That's like me. What? 22% tip.
Oh man. And you know what's funny about that? Like I can imagine he's probably like as soon as he pulled up to the house, he stopped in his motorbike or whatever, and he was just there, just like $5. The whole way up whilst he was walking, $5. Is that it? How could these? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something to them. Should I? Yeah, I'm gonna say it. And then opened the door, gave it to them, and was like, "Yeah, I got them."
He's like, "You're welcome. F you." What?
Wait, did he say that? Or did
Yeah,
she say that?
he said it. He said it.
$5. You know what? Maybe he's had a bad day. Maybe he's going through some difficulty
I
in
am
his
not
life.
giving him nothing. Are you crazy? You've been given 22% of the person's bill as a tip. As a tip. 22% is a lot, you know? Like, me, whenever I treat my parents to, like, food, for example, right? Because tipping is so normal here in the US. But because I'm not some rich person or anything like that. Whenever I tip, like I give like 18% or 20%, but say the bill is like $120, for example, and I give you 20 or 20% of that, that's, what is that, 18? That's $36. $36 that you just earned from me, right? Because you did such a good service on top of the pay that you already have. Now, the argument they make in like waiting, for example, is that they don't actually make a lot of money. So they're paid like minimum wage. So the tip is actually what drives them to have like a salary, which is a different conversation now, because now we're gonna talk about restaurants, and the restaurant owners are like, well, if you want good wages, then I'm gonna have to raise the prices of the food. And I'm just there like, what? America, so it's so crazy. And then when you compare it to like the culture of Japan, for example, where they won't even let you tip. Like they'll hand back your money. They'll run after you and give you your money back. No, you left this. It was no for you. No, we can't take this. Like, it's just levels, man. And it's
cultural
so
differences.
bad, bro. It's so bad. Do you know how bad it is? So tipping is normally reserved for what? Waiters, servers, and like delivery drivers, let's say, right? It's so bad now. I would go to a restaurant, yeah. Let's say I go to like Wingstop or something, and then I order wings. I've gone now to the shop. I'm ordering the wings. I'm paying for it. I'm not even eating there. I'm taking it out. And they'll tell me, and then what they'll be like, what they'll say is, okay, you want this? All right, cool. Okay, it's gonna be $16.60 or whatever. And then they turn around the register and they give it to you. And then he's like, I'm just gonna need your signature and stuff like that. And there'll be a screen asking for a tip. I've done the work. I didn't even. You just had to cook the food now. I'm tipping you to cook the food and take my order. There's no way. There's no way you're asking me to do that. I'm not even staying here for you to clean up after me. I'm not asking you to deliver my food. I'm not asking nothing. There's nothing else for you to do except for foundations of your job, and I'm still expected to tip you. I click no every single time. Are you crazy? Never.
Yeah.
Spit at my food if you want. God has me. He'll protect me. You crazy?
Talking about culture is it makes me think like I'll tell you a quick story. So I've lived with my parents. I lived with my parents for like 23, 24 years.
Right.
So, pretty regular in that home, right? Now, I left the home, and I've got my own place, but I go and visit every once in a while. I try and visit as much as I can. And the last few years, every single time that I visit, there's just certain signs, certain things that I see. I come in, I open the door, I hear hoovering. Like, wait,
Okay.
What's going on here? Every time I get home, things smell like bleach. It's like they've just cleaned or something. There's food that usually is just for guests. I sit down, I get up to go to the kitchen. No, we've got you. It's okay. We'll get the food.
Right.
And the last few years, I've been treated like a guest, and I don't like it. It's just, it's so strange to me. Like, I'll go over, and like my brother's getting in trouble because he forgot to clean the table because I'm coming over.
Right.
What? I know what
It's
a
not
table
your
looks
house.
like when it's dirty. I used to clean the table.
It's not your house no more. It's not your house no more. It's it. That's it.
It's so
It's
strange.
not your house. And is it just you that goes there? You don't go with your wife?
Well, yeah, either way. Yeah. So if it's me, only me, then it's just, I don't know, man. Like the last time I went over, I went there, and then my mum went into the kitchen, and she brought out 2 bowls of salad, and she was like, "Oh, this is the old one, but you can have the new one." I'm like, "What? What do you mean I can have the new one?" Usually, I needed to finish the old one before you can have the new one, and now it's like, "Here you go, you have the new one," and my brothers and my dad are having to finish the old one. And this time I refused. I was like, "No, I'm having the old one. I'm not a guest today." And I took it, and I took the old salad, put it on my plate.
Right.
It, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of old," but I don't care. Don't care.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's
nice, actually. It was
crazy.
nice salad. Yeah, but the last time I went, I was like, I refuse to be a guest. But I'm sure they're still gonna continue to do like guesty things for me.
Because you don't live there no more, man. They gotta make a
I don't
good.
like it, man.
They want to make a good impression so that you keep going back there. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? When you're going back there to a house that you were familiar with and stuff of like dirty and all these type things. Not dirty, but unorganized and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want you to keep coming back to a nice, clean house. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's too strange.
Speaking of entitlement, this
Again,
one,
still an entitlement.
It's possible that I'm only gonna show you this one and actually cut it out for the audience. Or if I leave it, it's like a lot of bleeps. That last one though. That last one, bro. The guy was like, "Boy, if you didn't have this camera, I'll beat I beat you so bad right now." Oh, bro.
I'm my food right now and just move on from that.
It's funny because it's true. Anyway, speaking of culture, people, we've done it. We got there. Florida man news time. Come on. Oh. We love it. This week, well, actually, I think this week, yeah. I'll say this may have been last week, but this week, Florida man wrestles a record-breaking 19-foot-long Burmese python. Giant is an understatement. So, a Florida duo known as the Glades Boys, have captured the state's longest ever recorded Burmese python, measuring 19 feet long and weighing 125 pounds. The record.
Why did they need to capture it?
Well, Burmese pythons. Good question. Brother asked a good question. Burmese python. it's considered to be an invasive species in Florida. So you're actually what's the word? Encouraged to take them and kill them if you see them and find them, because they mess with the ecosystem of the wildlife in Florida.
Interesting.
So Naples native Jake Walleri found the snake in Big Cypress National Preserve at 1 a.m. on July 10th. And there's actually a video available. Oh, we're full of videos today, aren't we? And I can actually just show you that right now. Here we go.
Jake. Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's go! Dude! You got tape on you? I know you carry tape. Get this off. Yep. Oh, losing it, Jake.
That was it. That was the video of them wrestling with the snake. Would you ever wrestle a Burmese python?
Wait, play it.
You'll play it again.
Yeah, that did not seem real. You know, you know when you have
Oh my god! Oh my
like the way he's shaking, like that looks like, you know, when people like pretending like oh.
No, it's real, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's real. Because when you can see
strong.
you can see his body's trying to actually like he's trying to choke him. He's trying to strangle him and stuff. Ooh, do you see that? The way he like launches at him? Yeah, bro. That's real. No, that's real. It's
And then he put it down to catch it, like
yeah. Boom, like Jiraiya or something. Like boom. Like he just killed him, bro. Yeah, so the video of the cat shows him pulling the massive python out of a roadside grass and wrestling with it as the snake attempts to bite him. The snake was killed as recommended by wildlife officials, and photos shows that it was so long it could drape across 4 adults with a room to spare. So here's the photo of the snake. Okay. Oh, why am I doing that? Here you go. There. That's the snake.
wow.
And then there's the 3 of them. That's funny, bro. Say imagine, right? Imagine they were all 6 foot. If they stood up on top of each other, it would still be shorter than the snake.
Mm.
You know how mad that is? 3 6-foot people are still a foot shorter than a snake.
That is very crazy. Wait, are they go back to that?
Uh-huh.
Do they do eye tests in their free time?
I don't know what that is. So yeah, they say here that Jake says that the giant is an understatement for this beast. And his partner in python catching crime, Stephen Gorta, posted on Instagram, she clocked in at 19 feet flat and 125 pounds. Even being able to just see a snake this large would be a dream. I can just Google real quick. Let me see.
Wait, so he actually strangled it to death?
I don't know if they strangled it to death. But they caught it. I don't know how they killed it. I don't think they mentioned it.
Man, yeah, human beings are scary. Like, so any animal, like imagine you see a snake in the forest and there's 3 human beings that are just walking by. Like, the snake is gone. Even one, like with that snake, like it could do work. Like, human beings are so like versatile. Like, we got a brain, good brains.
And but this Florida for you, man. People are just like so.
Oh, I forgot this was Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida for you.
Florida.
Like this is just like not a regular thing, but it's just such a thing for them. That yeah. So that 19-foot Burmese python was the largest Burmese python that's ever like been seen ever. But on record, The largest known snake to ever exist is a snake called the Titanoboa, and it was estimated to be 50 foot long and 3 feet wide. It was the same width as a 5-year-old toddler. And it was
width.
Yeah, it was 3 feet wide and 50 feet long. And there's like conspiracy theories as to like about snakes that are what do you call them? Back in the day that lived was probably like up to 100 foot in length and just roamed the earth, and we just never really knew about them because it just died before.
You know what? It was probably, you know what it reminds me of? You know Harry Potter?
Yeah.
And there's is it number 1 or? Yeah, the one where it's maybe not number 1, but the one where that has a snake, that massive snake, like in that underground place.
I don't remember.
You don't remember them?
I mean, I know of Medusa. No, I don't remember. I didn't really watch, so I won't really know.
Yeah, if you see it, you'll realize, you'll notice it.
Maybe. But in the meantime, congratulations, I guess. I don't. Well done on the 19-foot snake that you found. Because that's just their thing. They love, they're snake hunters. So well done for taking down another invasive species. Because that's definitely a real thing, though. Like, you definitely don't want invasive species in your wildlife ecosystem. Like, it killed. I remember when we first learned in like secondary school about invasive species, and they always used that example of like a Japanese plant. I forgot what it's called. Invasive species. Knotweed. Spreads vegetatively by rhizomes and also sprouts from fragments of roots and stem material which are dispersed by water. And it sucks so much nutrients from all the other plants. And it's so much better than the rest of them that they just kill all the other wildlife. So I guess in that way, congratulations. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Florida
it's
Man
like
news.
Like a fish.
How'd
You
you
know
mean?
those big fish, and then like those
Oh,
massive
yeah,
fish
yeah,
with, like, records, and then they stand there like
Yeah.
3 people holding the fish at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's their trophy. That's their trophy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure they'll just have it hang there somehow now until it decays or whatever. Or they'll do that weird thing that people do and they stuff like dead animals and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That's so weird. Like, imagine just like, it's so weird, and it very rarely looks good too. But there you go.
The taxidermy.
Taxidermy. There you go. People, faith in humanity restored. News. Come on. And actually,
My favorite part of the show.
I think we have 2 faith in humanity restored news today.
Oh, even
And-
better. Beautiful.
But I don't necessarily know if this is faith in humanity restored more so than it's just great news. So a couple of days ago, an Alabama woman was missing after stopping to help a toddler that she saw walking on the interstate. So there's actually a CCTV camera that saw this, like a CCTV camera on the highway, but it's very bad, the camera, so you don't actually see her disappear. But she was on the phone on like 911, and I guess she was calling that there was a toddler on the interstate, and she tried to go into the hard shoulder and try to help, and then she just kind of disappeared. When the police got there, she was just gone. But her name is Carly Nicole Russell, and she has been found after missing for 2 days or a day. Where is it? Hoover fire medics responded to the scene to assist Carly and transported her to a local hospital for evaluation. They haven't said anything more though outside of that. So the case of her disappearance is, we'll update you next week if when we find out
I'm
more.
very interested to see this. Yeah.
But a lot of conspiracy theories have already come up, which is that
Let's hear them.
this has probably been a trap. This was probably a trap of how like some people they use these like they use like the most weird little things to try and stop people from their tracks, and then as soon as they stop, that's it, they have you. Like one of the things they used to do was one of the things they do, not used to do, they do actually in certain parts of the world, like on the middle of a road, like a back road somewhere, they'd put like a massive rock in the middle of the road. And so people would drive and then they'll see the rock and obviously they'll stop to try and move the rock. And then as soon as they stop, people come out. It's like, where's your money? Give me your money. Give me your keys, blah, 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 blah. And then they drive off.
Yeah.
Or,
You know what? If I was driving and Dwayne Johnson was just on the road, I would stop too.
the other faith in humanity restored news. This one is a little bit nicer, a little bit cool. So there is a man by the name of Robert Moore, and he recently had his 100th birthday. He reached a century. Congratulations to him. And so for his birthday, his 100th birthday, all he wanted was to be able to pet some dogs.
Oh,
So his family organized a little, in the neighborhood, like, hey, it's gonna be my dad or my granddad's 100th birthday. He just wants to pet some dogs. So please, on this day, can you bring out your dogs for him to pet? And surprise, surprise, over 200 dogs came to his little party thing for him to pet. And there's a video of it.
over 200. Wow. Oh, let's see the video.
There's
That's
a
making
video
me
of it.
smile. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice video. I mean, that's a nice story.
I'm gonna have to mute the video though, because it has music in it. But here we go. So over 200 dogs surprised this lifelong dog lover for his 100th birthday. And here's the people lining up for him to be able to pet and scratch the dogs. There you go. The family put the word out for neighbors to stop by with their dogs. They were expecting maybe 20 or 30, but over 200 showed up. Look at that one in his little wheelchair. Dog after dog lined up around the block to wish this man a happy birthday. Oh, look at him. And he had the best day ever, they say. So yeah, congratulations to him, man. Again, not really a faith in humanity restored, but more of a sort of feel good news for the guy. For the guy.
I wonder if he got sick of it at a point. He's just going through the dogs. He's like, man, it's been 60 already. Like, can I just stop now? I'm just tired. I
Right.
wanna
I saw,
sleep.
exactly, right? It's like, man.
I
And
want
he's probably
one dog, guys.
the thing is too, like it's such a difficult. I feel like it's such a difficult feat to reach 100 years old without being like the nicest man in the world. So he just kind of just has to put up with it and just be like, I can't really say anything. So he's petting like 100 dogs. Dogs stink as
And
well.
they're recording now as well, and he wants to say something. He looks at the camera. He just continues petting the dog.
But I do want to say, Allahumma barik, 100 years old. That's a feat, brother. 100 years old. Hopefully, we're able to reach that type of age, and be able to do as much good as we can in reaching that age. And he looked, to be honest too, to be able to like still have the mobility and maneuverability. I know he was sitting down to like pet dogs even, and to, you know what I'm saying? And have the ability to be out there for that long to do that. That's, some people don't have that type of mobility at 60, let alone 100. Let alone 100. So congratulations to him. More life, if possible, and make it easy for him whilst he's here in this dunya. In this dunya that I'm sure he's looking at as crazy. Like, what do you mean you're they? You're just on your own. People.
It's not going for more than 10 seconds, and it's all right. It's all right.
That's gonna be the title of this podcast. 10-second rule. 10-second rule, and it's all good. 10 seconds and you can grope anyone.
Or how to grope anyone in 10 seconds or less and not go to prison for it.
Yeah. We're gonna get killed. Anyway, people, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, episode 20. Episode 20. Like I said if you're still here from when I said this earlier, stick around for episode 30. And I have this surprise for you. I think this is okay to show. And I'll have this surprise for you, Well, this isn't really a surprise. This is more so my mentality going into things. I think this is okay to show. We'll cut it out if it isn't.
I'm tired of being fat. Tired of being fat. Tired of being fat. Tired of being fat. I don't wanna work out.
I don't.
Just to unbig my back. I just wanna eat some. Just wanna eat unhealthy snacks. But I gotta work out to unbig my back. Oh.
Yo, can I just say, man, black people are some of my most favorite people in the entire world, bro. Because who comes up with unbig my back? Like, what term? Who comes up with that? I'm tired of being fat. I just want to unbig my back. Who says that? Black
That was very well done. And he's got an amazing voice as well.
Subhanallah.
Wow.
Oh, bro.
Beautiful.
What a guy. What a guy. I just want to unbig my back. The way he harmonizes it too. He does his own little choir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the comment as well. Like there was a gif of the woman just doing like this. Oh, preach.
I didn't see it now, but that's hilarious.
Oh my god, hilarious.
Yeah, that's all right. If I missed it, I'll go and watch the podcast.
Yes, episode 30, people. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna do like whatever it may be, but look at this face now. 10 weeks, and it will look different. It will look different. I'll have a piece of paper. Over here, and I'll be able to cut it with this, something like that.
Oh, is it something like that?
But obviously, we can't do that without prayer. So people, make dua for me. Make dua for me. People, thank you so much for listening. Like I said before, you could have been anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world. But at this moment, during this time, you decided to be here, right here with us, with me and my brother Muslim. So people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. And we hope to see you again next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.